Okay?
You're better than that. You're better than that. You need to achieve your pun kai. Yeah. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today we are back with more Dun Kai, which means that today my name is Josh Bond Kai Michaels. And I took that from a commenter. Shout out. Thank you very much. And today I am joined by
Mehgan. I should have seen this coming. Perrine. There we go.
Nice. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of what we call our Dun Kai series, our read through, our discussion on Bleach. Today we are going to be covering the Rescue Arc Part 2, chapters 153 through 183. This is the end of Soul Society. We come to the end of our Soul Society journey. And things were revealed, truths were revealed, schemes were put out in the open.
Unraveled.
There was betrayal. There was drama. There was tea.
There was a lot of tea spilt.
Yeah.
A lot of tea spilt.
Obviously this is everything that's kind of been, building up, leading up to this moment and this reveal. And I'm so glad that we're finally here, even though there are a lot of things even in this part and from this point forward that I'm not going to remember. This reveal was one of the, obviously the biggest moments for me watching it back when I was a kid. And I'm just curious to know how you feel. You did kind of share a little something with me, but I think that there are still a lot of things that basically, just tell the people. Just tell the people what happened.
Oh God, yeah. So pretty much, me, classic Mehgan shenanigans. I ended up seeing something that I wasn't supposed to see before we read this, and honestly, it didn't ruin anything for me. Because I didn't know what it entailed or why, but it still was pretty intense. Like it wasn't throwaway. But I kind of found out that someone wasn't who they were all chalked up to be.
The reason I don't think it's a huge deal, and I was super bummed about it. I was really bummed to the point where when you told me, and I understand why, but you were purposely not lying is a dramatic word, but you were lying to not.
I was withholding my information.
Yes, because you knew how excited I was.
Yeah, I knew how excited. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching too. I mean, a first-time reader of Bleach, they're like, oh, this is end of Soul Society, pops off because of the big reveal. But again, I did enjoy what I read regardless, and I was surprised at some of the things that were revealed.
Yeah, I mean, that's why ultimately, even before we read it, when you told me, I was bummed. And then going back and experiencing it and reading it, I was less bummed because it's not just one character. It's not just the Aizen moment. It is the other people, one of which we all assumed was going to be a part of these schemes as well. But another person that I think might have still been a surprise. And even if for whatever reason that person wasn't a surprise, the reasoning for it was all I think very, very cool to read.
Yeah, that was the other reveal of a character being involved. I was like,
yeah,
that was, I think, more of a shock. I mean, obviously I kind of knew, but that was even more of a shock. Was even way, it was hidden away. There was no way I could have gotten that spoiled. I don't think without reading it, but. Yeah, I did like it. It was a definite gradual buildup, and I think the second half had a lot more going on than the first half. And I knew it, like I told you, Byakuya did end up redeeming himself, finally. Mm-hmm. And did it feel justified to you? Did it feel earned to you, his reasoning behind why he was behaving the way he was behaving? I mean, yes and no. I get it. He was torn, but I was like, there's a clear answer to what you should do. And there's a clear answer to what everyone is doing for this person. It took you this long to finally literally you're all wounded up and you're now I can reveal it. And I understand that's the type of character that he is, which I wasn't like, it wasn't a throwaway thing, but that was also surprising too. That little reveal.
Yeah.
But there's a few things that I'll talk about within this second half of Soul Society that I've kind of noticed with Bleach, and not in a bad way, just little things that I'm like,
yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, we kind of talked a little bit about it off mic briefly, but I agree. And there are things that I'd like to talk about on that note as well. But I do think that it was leading up to a lot of things where seeds were planted a long time ago. Things were leading up to this moment. A lot of things were paid off. A lot of things, made sense. And, in terms of mystery and things like that, it did feel like it had most things had a very satisfying reveal. And again, back to the seeds being planted. I mean, even back to the Menos Grande and just like, everything, the Gigai that Urahara gave Rukia in the very beginning, things before they even went into Soul Society, the whole setup for a lot of these things was Kubo planting seeds. And so that is good to see that it does seem and is very clear that he did have some sort of roadmap up until this point. The problems you have are problems that I discovered that I had, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it until you articulated it. But we'll talk about all that and more in a second. But before we move on, we have to shout out our highlighted comment of the day, which today comes from Musomania27, who says, I think we all brush off Uryu when we were younger because he wore glasses and has a girly man, said in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. So, girly, I can't do an Arnold Schwarzenegger. Girly man.
I'll be back, girly man.
Girly man. Yeah.
Kind of hard.
In an Arnold Schwarzenegger, bow and arrow when Ichigo is a cool, tough guy, punk with a giant mega blade and wears all black. But now we are older and wiser and appreciate Uryu like he deserves. Or I guess technically Mehgan always had us beat since it's her first read. And then they say, and shout out to the Dunkai character art potential captains out here. What the heck, you do?
Yeah, we had a eventually, like, we knew that we had to get the cosplay because I wanted to do like Rukia, not in this episode, but these are just universal.
Yeah, that is the cool thing about the Bleach cosplay. This is the base.
Yeah.
You have your base for your canvas, and then it's literally just wigs or
like a mask or different swords
Yeah.
or hand wraps.
Exactly.
And it's the good old base.
Yeah, but if you got this, then you can cosplay pretty much anybody in Bleach.
Yeah, we're like infiltrating Soul Society right now. We're pulling Orihime and Uryu.
Yeah, dude, I'm a what's it called? Oh yeah, we kind of are.
We are.
I'm a what's it called? What are those? I'm a deputy Soul Reaper. Nice to meet you, Deputy Soul Reaper.
Nice
Josh
to meet
Michaels
you.
here. How can I help you? I heard there's some hollows lurking about. Deputy Soul Reaper Michaels is on the case. How can I help you?
Watch out.
Watch out, Soul Reapers. Deputy Michaels is here.
Watch out, Soul Reapers.
I mean, and watch out, Soul Reapers.
Yeah, you better watch your back because anyone can turn on you at any moment.
Because I might just be a deputy, but I'm coming for your captain spot. So watch out. Yeah, watch out, Hollows, and watch out, Soul Reapers. I stand by what I said. I'm a Deputy Michaels is a man of his freaking word, and that's what makes me strong. That's what gives me strength.
You're a deputy. I'm a sheriff.
All right.
I think they're different.
Whatever.
I think they're different.
They are different, but I'm what is it, Barney Fife, and you're Andy Griffith over here. Okay, don't do. One of the most bangerest of
literally
OPs.
is just a
Andy
whistle
Griffith's got
and
the bangerest OP.
banger. But what were some of the highlights for you? Because I have at least one that comes to mind.
I guess the highlight for me was, let me think. The highlight for me was definitely a lot of the reveals and a lot of the payoffs. The Aizen moment was really cool. There were some fights that I thought were really cool. I think out of all the fights, the most enjoyable reading experience for me just happened to be the Yoruchi fight.
Yes.
I really actually liked that a lot. And
Soifan.
Soifan, Soifan and Yoruchi was
that was the highlight. Because you're thinking like, oh, Yorishi's like outmatched. Like, it's true. Like, she has been out of commish, or so they say, like, for 100 years. And Soifan's like, I'm gonna beat you. Like, finally I'm stronger than you. And she's like, The classic anime, like,
Yeah.
I haven't even unleashed my full power yet. And that was sick.
It was sick.
I loved that. And I loved seeing like their backstory because I didn't really understand why Soifan like hated her so much, and realizing what happened in the past and how she kind of helped out, you know, Bucket Hat and like escaping, and then they were just kind of like MIA. And that was a cool little lore dump.
Yeah, I mean,
and the reason why was justified. She just left and didn't say anything.
I think that's what this back half, I mean, the end of Soul Society, that's what it all is. It's showing you how everybody is connected and everybody's relationship. I mean, even in flashbacks, we're getting in brief flashbacks with like some of the captains, and just everybody gets a little, you're let in on like everybody's connections, right? And everybody is connected. And so I found Yoruchi's fight was so cool. Kubo likes to write badass characters, and he the way that he writes dialogue is purposely just like action movie badass line, you know. But it's fun, and it's that fight. It was on full display in that fight, and it was an enjoyable fight, and I loved every minute of it. And I think that the badass lines were still just as badass as ever. The line where you know, she says like Soifan thinks she gets the upper hand, and says like, you're about to see my freaking secret technique, and you should feel honored because I just mastered it yesterday. It doesn't even have a name yet. And then, you know, Yoruchi looks like she's kind of like
faltering,
like thrown for a loop a little bit, or on her toes. And then she goes, it actually does have a name.
It actually does have a name, bitch. And I was like, oh my God.
And I was like, let's go.
I was like, let's go. And I did love the resolution of that fight. It was just like, you could tell, like, it wasn't, I mean, it was anger for sure. But then she kind of realized like why she was fighting her. Like, it wasn't like to uphold justice. It wasn't to, you know, turn this person in. It was just like, why did you leave me?
Yeah.
Like, but that was like, super emotional.
I liked what you said. Yeah, it is about her coming to terms with that and discovering that for herself. Yeah. And not having it be post-Aizen moment. It was pre-Aizen moment. So I liked that she got to that point and she realized that that was why she was really fighting, you know, before all the Aizen stuff happened. Because once that happens, that does, you know, it does mean that a lot of people are going to form an alliance against Aizen.
Yeah, but everyone was just like, all the homies hate Aizen. Like, immediately everyone switched up and realized like, oh yeah, we were being played. Yeah. We were all being played like hella. Yeah,
for sure. Is there anybody that you thought maybe was going to, did you think that there was going to be a lot of people, that many people, 3 people that were going to be the ones that were working with him?
Well, I knew Geen. Right?
Yeah,
Geen, not Jin. Okay, Geen for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking, sorry, I haven't had alcohol in a couple of years, so I can't get Jin off the mind.
Nasty.
I mean, it could be good. It could be refreshing though, in a mojito or something like that. Don't mojitos have rum?
Mojitos have tequila.
You can have a gin martini, or gin's refreshing. Gin and mint, not too bad.
Gin, I knew for sure. And I said it like in the past episode, like, he's not the only one pulling the strings. Like, he definitely had help and all this other stuff. But I was really surprised at Tozen too. Mm-hmm. That was kind of a shocker. And the reason why he was kind of aligned with him. And it was this like, I mean, he is literally taking the side of someone because he knows how strong they are, potentially what their plan is. So he's like, I'm doing this for justice. Like, I'm doing this for the greater good to, you know, spill as less blood as possible. But it's like, I mean, Aizen did spill a lot of blood. Like, he killed Momo for like no fucking reason. Like, pretty much like, oh, she's gonna simp over me too hard, so I gotta cut her out. You know, I've never heard of that. I heard of ghosting, but not like literally ghosting someone.
Wow.
You know?
Well, I mean, she served her purpose, you know, according to him.
Yeah, we all know
what that purpose was.
That purpose was, Aizen bitch. But the thing is, it's like Aizen, like, he was putting on this show, but like, was it like necessarily like him, or he was taken over by something else? Because he said he was never Aizen in the first place. So,
well, I mean, from what I understand, that just means like you guys never knew who I was. Like, I've been lying from the very beginning, because someone said like, oh, did this plan come into motion? Did you guys form this alliance once, you know, you recently, or how long, or once you became captain? He's like, no, it's been from the very, very beginning. Like, it's, you guys have never been able to see who I really am. I've never allowed you to see who I really am.
Literally and figuratively, yeah.
And no one's ever been able to see through it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he's being taken over. I just think that, he was never the Aizen that everybody believed he was.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading this and this being revealed and being shocked. I was like rocked because this was like as it was premiering, as it was coming out. And I, hadn't seen a lot of other anime like this before. So when it happened, I was blown away. I was like, what the fuck?
That moment with like Gin taking Momo in and then he's just like standing there. I was like,
yeah. But I like how this does now give, it does feel like this is a lot of maybe series will introduce you into the big bad right away. And I like how this series, it takes, what are we at? Almost 100, almost 200 chapters before you realize like who this like big bad is going to be. I really like that a lot. Now, Bleach is an amazing series and a fun series and an action-packed badass moment after badass moment series that I love and is near and dear to my heart and has been for a very long time. However, it's not a perfect series. I don't think any series is a perfect series. But Mehgan, you noted some things about reading this or really discovered it after getting to this point. Something that you were finally able to kind of articulate. And I agree with those things, but do you want to explain what some of those things are? Like some of your problems, I guess, or some things you noticed?
Yeah. Some things I noticed, not like really big nitpicks, but I kind of noticed it reading during the Soul Society part. Like I know they have a lot to fit in, a lot to explain, a lot to uncover, not even only with Aizen and his whole like villain monologue speech, but also just with like the inner workings and the Zanpakuto and everything else. And I did like kind of realize it was like a bit overwhelming as a reader to like try to remember all of these things. And this is just personal, like, someone's like, well, I understood everything. And I'm like, that's great. Like, my brain is just like I guess
well, it's more like,
it is kind of like that. A lot like that, actually. My brain's a big fart. Thank you, Josh, for summing that up for me.
You're welcome.
But it was just a bit like a lot of wordy explanations during a fight. I would rather just see them fight and then maybe get a couple lines of why or what had happened. Explanations, but it was like every scene leading up to a fight or in the fight was a huge kind of like, I don't want to say exposition dump because they have to explain it in order for you to understand. But I did, I guess, enjoy the fights that didn't have a lot of dialogue for the people that we already knew.
Well,
like Ichigo kind of, and that fight with Byakuya. Like, I feel like we already knew those things, so we didn't have to be explained them again.
Well, it's
so
a fight.
It was like,
it's a fight with like Yoruichi and Soifan that is like a fight that's based in emotion. Like a lot of the reason that they're fighting and a lot of their anger or just trying to outdo each other comes from their past, comes from a place of emotion. And I feel like there are some fights that do feel a lot more hollow because they are just about
fighting
or powers or the technical side of like what is actually happening instead of the characters. They might be emotionally invested, but just this wordy jargon is taking away from that, and it seems like that's a big focus.
Yeah, all of the fights that dealt with, like you said, like that emotional, backing to them. Like I really like the obviously Soifan Yorichi fight. I did also like the fight between Byakuya and Renji too, because that was also like set in emotion. But honestly, like the fight between Ichigo and Byakuya was sick. It was cool. But it's like we already saw that with Renji having that emotion towards Rukia. And then we see Ichigo do it and it just feels kind of like, but we already got this. But from a different character, but it's kind of the same. You know what I mean? And the only thing that was cool was like, Byakuya kind of like sweating a little bit and being like, how did you learn Bankai? Like all of the, all of everything involved. But like, I think we got a comment, someone commented saying like, yeah, Renji did this. And still Ichigo made it more in time. I don't know. It was I think the comment was something
that I even touched on in the previous episode, which was just that, he's doing all these things. Like he's going down a train. He's going to save Rukia. He's getting, like murked. He's getting wrecked by Byakuya, then gets healed, then is still able to make it back in time to the execution or a little after, but perfectly raring and ready to go. And so it just didn't seem like anything that really happened to him. There wasn't enough time given for it to like hold a whole lot of weight.
Yeah.
Because he just kept bouncing back and he just kept being right there where he wanted to be. I mean, he didn't have to like, he did have to overcome a lot, but it didn't necessarily feel as rewarding because it just didn't feel like he had to really earn that like healing or like, I mean, he didn't have to work for it, I guess.
Yeah.
But he did work and he did train with Ichigo to master or to just be able to achieve Bankai. So there was that, and that was great. But,
yeah. Well, we know, like, people have commented for, like, this is all explained. Like, obviously, I don't know why he's able to do all these crazy things yet. We did get a little taste of, like, the holification, and that was a pretty sick thing. I kind of already, like, figured that. But, like, I don't know what relationship this, like, hollow has with Ichigo's, like, Zanpakuto, because it kind of had that, like, passing line, like, oh, we made a promise, or, like, we have a pact. Do you remember that? Yeah. Like, you remember what you told me? I was like, oh, there's like something else too going on. Cause he's like, I won't let you die. Like, it's kind of honestly like Sakura and Itadori. Like how he's able to kind of like, you're not gonna die. Like, this is the body that I'm hosting in and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to compare it.
No, I mean, again,
that's
I
just thought
one
of
the I think Bleach or Jujutsu pulls a lot from Bleach. I think that they're
Blitz.
Blitz. I think it pulls a lot from Bleach, and I don't think that. I think it's inspired a lot by it. I don't think it's like copying it. I think it's just inspired by it.
I just noticed that, and I was like, oh, that was sick too. But like how much of that power is coming from this hollow, or like how they're able to like, because of, I always call him Bucket Hat. Bucket Hat's like research into this, like what that has to do with like how he's gonna move forward in his Zanpakuto. Like, it's just that was
there are a couple things that I remember, a few more things that I remember learning about Ichigo that were pretty shocking and do give a lot of validity to why he's able to do sort of some of the things he's able to do. But this is definitely, like you said, one of them. This is like, there's two more in my memory after this, but this is definitely one of them, the holification thing, which I think is a very cool concept. Like, I love this concept. I love everything that we learned in this portion of the story.
Yeah.
But I do want to just say and talk about a little bit more. For me on my end, like, I have to agree with a lot of the things you said. Like, it's one thing to yes, I don't like when shows over exposit information. But on the other hand, because my reasoning for that is like, on one hand, yes, that's how people in that world would talk. I like when a writer, an author, doesn't make his audience feel stupid and just says that this is how they, people who have lived in this society for a very long time would use this jargon. And this is just how they would speak.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because I can understand it. If I sit there and I dissect everything, like, it is easy to understand, but I can't also help but feel like sometimes it is just there to be there.
Yeah.
And I can't help but feel like it is almost, it's like sole purpose in existing is to just give validity to these concepts or this hierarchy, which I think could be so much more easily explained and shown. And it overcomplicates a story that I think at its core is a very, and I love this about Bleach. At its core, it's a very, at this point, simple story. A rescue mission in a foreign land. It battle shonen, but it sometimes feels like it's trying to be more by just like using these like big words. And again, it overcomplicates things. Like, we definitely need to know what Bankai is. We definitely need to know what like Konpakus and Zanpakutos and like, we need to know like a lot of the terms. But it just sometimes, and I do like how the spells have these like very beautiful lines that are read before they are activated or in order to activate them. But there's just so much other jargon that I just feel like is very unnecessary. And even if it is important information that is going to be relevant later, then just reveal it later, expand on it later. But I just sometimes felt like captains, assistant captains, like everybody's dialogue was just like so padded with like all these extra things. I mean, luckily in the Yoruchi and Soifon fight, it didn't really take anything away from it. But again, there were moments where it was just like, okay, well, how important is all of this really? That is literally my only nitpick about this. There were, I understand Byakuya's where Byakuya's coming from. I understand like as a character, how that choice was hard for him to make. Aizen's reveal, everything. I really enjoyed every seed that was planted, and every reveal that we came across in this half. It was just that. So when you said that, it really did unlock something in my mind that made me realize, like, yes, that is exactly what it is. If there was a way to just do less of that, I feel like it would be even more enjoyable than it already is. And it is incredibly enjoyable, and it is just fun, and it is just badass, and it is so many things. So I don't mean to take away from it by saying that, but that's just an honest observation from, I think, an honest observation that we both shared reading this. But again, I had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to talk about this arc more than I've been excited to talk about any previous arc, just because, again, this is, once we start dipping into the arcs after this, is when I'm almost completely in the dark again. Like I did not really retain a lot of what I read. There will be things like some of those reveals that happen. Like it's almost like the big moments stick out of my head, but there's so many other moments that are important that don't. But this is like setting the stage for the rest of the series. So I'm very excited to go through this, and I do want to go through it a little beat by beat, just so we don't miss anything. Again, these notes are just more of a roadmap. If we feel like there's anything really cool that we want to talk about, then we can stop there and expand on that. But let's just start going through it. So it opens on Ichigo versus Byakuya. Now, we don't get to see a lot of this fight right away, but it is like, setting it up. Yeah. What it really focuses on initially is this fight between Yamato, Ukitake, and Kyoraku.
Another highlight.
You like that?
Yeah.
I loved that fight more, again, because of the emotion and, Yamato feeling like he was a father figure to these two.
Yeah, like seeing them grow and like even like seeing their abilities, like how they both have like, I think it's like, what do they call it? The double bladed Zanpakuto. Like they both have it, and it's just like, he's like, this is a sight to see, like this is awesome. And that was awesome. It definitely was awesome. And it's like just seeing how close they actually are, and seeing how like he kind of was like, he's like, I'm disappointed that you guys are doing this right now. And it's like, but you told us to fight for justice, and yet you're like turning a blind eye to what's happening. Like, this is not what we were taught by literally you. And it's just the hypocrisy that they're like,
yeah,
no more.
Again, because I think like his way of thinking, Yamato's way of thinking is just like, we have to obey the law, and no one is exempt. And that's kind of what Byakuya echoes later, which I really do get. Like, it didn't hit me right away, but the more I thought about it, I did understand, because you can't show favoritism, especially when you come from a noble family in a very fortunate, high-ranking position. You can't show favoritism. You can't show any sort of like sympathy or weakness. And so I do, on one hand, respect sort of, his diligence, I guess. But that's the same thing with Yamato. I think he was telling them, like, bottom line is, like, this is how our system works. We take orders, or we take, rulings are given to us by, the what is it, the 46 or whatever. And it's not our job to question those things. That is not what we do. We are not here to question things. We are just here to enact, their, kind of like ruling or whatever. So for him, it was that, but it is sometimes a little more complicated than that. And I liked that they, stood up to this man and stood up for what they believed to be justice. And I'm sure he was like, Yamato was kind of like proud of them and hurt by, what he considered to be their betrayal, I guess.
I mean, yeah, Yamato's a scary dude. Like,
he is.
He made, what's her name? I forget her name.
Oh,
they had her foam at the mouth.
Was it like, Nanao, I think is her name?
Yeah, Nanao. That panel was crazy. She's like, and I was like.
Yeah. Well, but I think, what's cool about it too is like every, dad, I'm sure, has a moment with their, kids, even though he's not literally their kids, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing what you taught me to do, but I'm doing it my way, in a way that I believe is right, but also upholding your teaching of justice.
Yeah.
And I think that, generations, old heads be like,
Old heads be like.
Yeah, old heads be like, back in my day, we just listened to whatever the government said. And the new heads be like, the new gen, be like, yeah, well, we still believe in like doing right and justice, but we don't have to listen to everything that, the 46 say.
True. Because they might be dead.
Because they might be dead. I also like that Aizen's plan, because it wouldn't have made sense, I don't think, for a plan to be revealed in that letter, and then for everything to be, for that to be Aizen's exact plan outside of or other than like who he kind of like pinned it on. I like how like it had nothing to do with any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it had nothing to do with taking the power of the, execution weapon. It had nothing to do with that.
I mean, it had everything to do with like killing Rukia,
yes.
but
yeah,
that's the one thing.
Yes.
And also the ending we can talk about.
Okay.
Too.
Sure. Yeah. What part are you talking about specifically? Just a little tease. Just give me a little teaser.
It just involves like Rukia.
Okay.
Just being like,
yeah.
Actually, I'm staying. I was like,
that's her home though. That's her home.
I know. But now, isn't she gonna turn into a human soul?
I mean, she can still live there, and like she's still part of the royal family, and
Yeah, but she was just having so much more fun.
Was she?
Yeah, because she was with Ichigo and her friends.
I mean,
that fought so hard for her.
Yeah, that fought so hard for her. But let's be real. She just met them. Okay, like she grew up in the slums with Renji. Like Byakuya is her like brother who just like revealed this like heartfelt thing that like her sister who she didn't even know she had.
She has some housekeeping to do at this point. I'm sure it's not the last she'll be in the human world, but it was just funny. Like I think I saw someone else comment on it like after all that.
Yeah.
She just stays. And it was a cool like, contrast between like how Renji kind of told her, because she said, hey, I'm going to go join the royal family. Like, he didn't stop her from going. And Ichigo, same thing. Like, oh, yeah, you do you, girl. Like, go for it. He didn't try to, like, fight for her to come back.
Well, he's kind of like a lot like Luffy in that way. He's like, I'm just fighting for you to, like, have a choice. Like, I'm fighting for your, like, freedom of choice. I just don't want you to be executed against your will or for something that isn't right, something that you shouldn't be executed for. I'm not fighting so you can come back with us. I'm fighting so you can do whatever you want to do and make that choice for yourself. I like that. I respect that. But I mean, I do also understand that there is a little bit of like, damn, I love this character. They're going to rescue her, and she is just like, I'm gonna chill here for a little bit.
Or also,
or a lot of it.
Ganju's sister,
Kaku.
She was like, whenever you were ready to apologize to me, I was gonna accept it anyway. I was like, what?
I mean,
after all that, like, I wanted her to at least like.
My thing is, I respect that decision from Kaku because it is like, I need to let her deal with it on her own time, and whenever she's ready and when she's processed it, when she's dealt with it, then she can come to me. But it's like, tell Ganju. Tell Ganju so Ganju's not like having a freak out mid-rescue and almost jeopardizing the entire mission. Like, Kaku,
well, did she know at that point? I don't know if she knew. I think she heard it from someone else. Like, she's like, I heard everything that happened. Like, I know it wasn't your fault.
Maybe,
I think that they were under the impression, like, yeah, she was just like a heartless person. That's why.
She said she heard it from Ukitake, I guess, but I don't know if she heard it, prior to all these events, because it did sound like she said, like, yeah, Ukitake told me everything, and like I was just, I had decided that if you ever did come to me, like I would forgive you. But so maybe it could have been after everything or before. If it was before, you should have told Ganju at least. But if it wasn't, then I guess I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we get the Soifon versus Yoriichi fight, which is really cool. Their relationship, again, a fight based on emotion, their past, their history, Yoruchi is also part of this royal family. That's when we learn more about, and you got to pick this up. I think just it's not like super in your face, which again I do appreciate. But we're told there's like 4 noble families, and I think it's like the Kuchiki, like Byakuya's family. It is Yoruchi's family, and it is Kaku's family. These are 3 of the 4. That's why I think Soifan says that one of them has been disowned, basically, and that is the Shiba family, I believe, the ones who make all these crazy, fireworks and stuff. And Yoruchi's family was in charge of always being commander of that unit. She was the first woman. Soifan, like, her family's job was always to serve this person, but she ended up like deifying Yoruchi, and like becoming obsessed with her.
And that's like, I mean, with anything, like you can't. I mean, people are strong, but like that's why she kind of stressed, like, I'm just a person.
Yeah,
like I'm not a god. Like that's on you for like putting that much pressure or like expectation on someone, even if they're like royal or whatever, because she never like, promoted herself that way. So she just like was holding on a grudge a little too hard because of the like obsessiveness that she had over this person. I get like, admiring, but they even say like admiration turned into, deity.
To deify somebody, but I think Aizen, because that comes from Aizen, and I think that it does call back to Soifan and Yoruchi, because Aizen's exact words, I believe, were something along the lines of like admiration. Admiration, something about admiration. Once you start to feel admiration or some turn of phrase, I forget exactly, but basically that is when you're unable to discern like truth or reality, or you kind of grow a little, because he was talking about Momo in that moment. Things get like cloudy or foggy, or that's when you become your most like unsure, or when you're the most easy to manipulate or whatever. So it is funny that Aizen said that talking about Momo, but it is also very true of Soifan and Yoruchi. Their fight was awesome. Their fight was so cool. I mean, the hornet sting, bee crest flower, so sick. Get that tatted too. Yeah,
for sure.
And then the moment where, she's like trying her special move and doesn't have a name yet, and Yoruchi's like, it does, and it's called Shunko. That was a badass moment. The idea of these robes that they wear having no sleeves or back because of the amount of spirit energy that's like released.
Sick.
So sick. Kubo's a master at drawing just cool ass characters, doing cool ass things, and we've noticed too, specifically in this arc as well, how just over the course of these 150 something chapters, his art has almost already completely changed. I feel like so many other mangaka over the course of maybe 500 chapters, you look back, you can tell a little bit of a difference.
I mean, he's Ichigo.
Yeah.
Most it would take 10. It only took him 3 months.
I mean, he is on another level here, and I love just the evolution and the growth that he's been able to achieve in a short amount of time. It's because there's a panel with Rukia back when she was like when she first met Ichigo, and everything is so sharp and square, and now everything is more rounded and 3-dimensional, and it's just really impressive. The art is amazing in this half for sure. Great fight, highlight fight, I think, for both of us was this moment.
Totally.
Especially, because of the flashback and everything. Then we get a little shot of Unohana, and I don't want to, slight Unohana or just kind of like brush over her. She's a very cool ass character. She's the captain of the medical division.
Oh, with the stingray?
Yeah, she's riding around on that thing.
I love that.
So sick.
She's cool.
She's really just like put together, calm, peaceful. Like she's just even keeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. She actually does play a significant role later on, but this is where we kind of first see her cruising around on her little, what is it? Its name is Minazuki, but it did look like a little ghost stingray.
Yeah, I love that. I forgot to mention that, I think, in the last couple chapters that we read, because you get a little sliver of her, and I was like, who is this? I love it.
It's like a Mother Teresa over here.
Oh, yeah. She just needs the nun outfit and she'll be set. I mean, she's kind of already wearing black and white, right? So it kind of counts.
Was Mother Teresa, I guess she wasn't. Was she a nun? Mother Teresa?
Mother.
I'm not Catholic. I don't know.
Sister.
Sister is what you call the nuns,
I think it's like father. I think a mother is like a higher ranked nun. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm speaking
not
of something that I know, but it's like sister, mother, father. I don't know. Brother is maybe like a lower ranked priest in the making. I don't know. That makes sense to my brain. Mother Teresa. Because it would be. It's just, okay. Anyway,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
She's similar.
She's similar in vibe and energy and presence, you know. And I've only seen one picture of Mother Teresa. So I can't even. Or is that the Mona Lisa? See, now I'm getting more confused. I'm getting more confused.
Was that the Mona Lisa? I don't know.
Anyway, whether it was Teresa or Lisa, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
Lisa from.
Okay,
Simpsons.
that's just now.
I was just adding.
It's not adding when you just grab
Grab what?
Like when you grab, like you scrape the bottom of the barrel and just grab anything out of it. You reach in the darkness of the barrel and you just pull.
Okay, what else do I have? I have to go to the bottom. Okay,
you're better than that. You're better than that. You need to achieve your punkai. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you're better than that, and you have achieved it. You just need to unleash it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow, damn. I'm fucked up right now.
I'm fucked up. Anyway, so I like this moment between, because we see Renji rescuing Rukia, and I like this moment between them a lot, and I wrote it down because I think it's really important for Rukia to understand this. Rukia thinks that she has twisted Ichigo's fate. That's why she is so fucked up about everything that is happening. She's like, why is he here? I ruined his life. I dragged him into all of this, and everything that's happening is my fault. And finally, she's able to hear from Renji, someone she trusts, a childhood friend, like, what you think you did, how you think you wronged Ichigo is why Ichigo's here thanking you. It's what he's thanking you for.
Yeah, and we get that too later with like Orihime talking about like, that was kind of sad. She's like, oh, like, she's important to Ichigo. And Ururu is like, Orihime. Like, it was a total like telenovela moment. Yeah, like, forget about Ichigo, come in my arms. But she was like, she changed his life like forever. And it's true. I mean, he was able to like see spirits and stuff, but not on this level. Like, he didn't get a little badge at the end of it. Like, shit.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to achieve this power and be able to protect the people that he wants to protect, his loved ones, without Rukia. So she thinks she fucked him up, and he's like, no, you saved my life.
Yeah.
And you gave my life this like amazing purpose and allowed me to achieve all these things. Everything he's achieved is because of, in a way, his own power and strength and drive, but wouldn't have been maybe as possible or possible at all without Rukia.
No, not at all. Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool line, and Rukia finally hears it, and I think she understands. I think she gets it.
Finally.
Then we get more into the fight with Byakuya and Ichigo, which is where their bankais are released.
Dude, he was like, what did he say? He goes, I won't need to use my bankai on you for another 1,000 years. I was like, hey, that's such a like great way to say like, you're a little bitch.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even have time to like, I shouldn't even waste my bankai on you at all. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way. Like, I wouldn't wait, because it's like I can defeat you without it. Yeah. And I like that moment too, where he's like, he's like, you're talking like you can use like, you like did, bankai or something.
Yeah.
And Ichigo's like, and I just thought of that like Padme Anakin meme where she's like, he says something.
Which one?
It's like a 4x4 meme.
Oh,
maybe I'll make it. But she's like, you didn't do that, did you? And he just stares at her. She's like, did you? And it's just like, you didn't like learn bankai, did you? Like put like Renji in Ichigo's face. Yeah. But that was just really funny because he was like, he got a face crack. He was shook.
Yeah, he got a face crack. He's a noble man, a man of nobility, a man who believes in like, this like hierarchy, this status, this this tradition of power. And so he doesn't even give Ichigo the time of day to consider that even someone, not even a Soul Reaper, would ever be able in the history of Soul Society be able to achieve bankai. Ridiculous. I turn my nose up at thee. It's so preposterous how you think you can achieve this bankai.
Yeah, Byakuya is like canon British.
Yeah, he's a little posh.
Yeah, a little posh.
But yeah, I mean, Ichigo's Bankai. What'd you think of his Bankai? Pretty cool reveal because everybody else has these big ones, and his was like more like it was tight.
Yeah, size doesn't really like matter all the time,
Definitely not.
But
he packed a lot of power into that sword.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. When he achieved his Bankai, even Byakuya was like, look at that freaking little thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't even know that this is I have a secret technique. It might be kind of little and whatever, but I have achieved a secret technique, and it basically like I'll fuck you up. I'll rock your world.
Yeah, it's about speed. You had speed.
Not even about
it heightened its
power.
It's power and speed.
It is speed too, but
yeah, Byakuya is just able to use this like big thing and just one and done. And Ichigo's like, I can do this all day, and that's what's important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's about the power he unleashes and speed too, but I think it's more so like controlling speed.
Yeah.
Manipulating speed.
Speed, yeah. I am speed.
Speed.
Yeah. So that was super, super cool. To see that fight and to see again, like Byakuya kind of, I wanted him to be humbled in any way possible just because he was just like really annoying the shit out of me. Yeah. And I was like, yes, finally, like this fool really is able to see like Ichigo like for like an actual opponent for one, because he didn't really disregarded him completely. And at the end of the fight too, like that was kind of I mean, it was a cool moment for him to not just like, I guess, kill him. Because he was like, yeah, we're both injured badly, so maybe we can just see each other like we can hook up later,
Well, I mean, no, Byakuya said like the fight's over, you won, and Ichigo's like, and Ichigo has that moment where he's like, I won,
it's all bloody and shit.
And he's like screaming up at
I did it,
I won. Yeah, so I mean, that was a huge moment. Going back and reading it this time around for me now, realizing like that was a huge moment for Byakuya to be able to like this person who he's talking down to, this person who he's shitting on all the time, can't achieve Bankai, little baby Bankai boy,
little baby Bankai boy.
Yeah, like can't do nothing. Like then slowly saying like, okay, well, no one's seen this like final form of my Bankai. You're the only the second person ever to see this. Like slowly acknowledging him more and more and more, till finally at the very end, this hard ass saying like, you won. This fight is yours. Like you won. Like that was huge for him. Yeah. And we still don't get necessarily all of Byakuya's reasoning behind it, but he does start to realize at a certain point during the fight, like Kuchiki Byakuya is not Ichigo's enemy. It's like more so like the Soul Society or the laws, traditions, the laws that are like. He's fighting the law. He's not fighting me, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that he realized too. And we got the cool holification moment. That was really awesome to see because again, it's something that is pretty obviously gonna happen.
And he just breaks out of it, and he's like, "Sorry about that."
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, I don't know what that was, but
it's freaking Itadori, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is something that I don't think this is a spoiler necessarily.
Oh my!
But I'm just trying to excite you. I'm trying to get you excited.
Okay.
That this is something. If my memory serves correct, this is something that really starts to get explored in the next arc. A lot. Which I remember loving at the time. But yeah, very cool fight. I would say pretty up there in terms of like best moments for me, but not quite. Didn't quite get that number one spot again because I'm re-experiencing it too. Yeah. So maybe if I was experiencing it for the first time, it would have, Ichigo's Bankai and all that would have surprised me more. But yeah. So after that, we get the revelation, the reveal that the Council of 46 is dead. Hitsugaya and Matsumoto discover their bloody corpses.
Yeah, and they realize kind of too, like, oh, they aren't just dead. Like they've been dead for a while.
Yeah.
So what happened? What's going on? What happened? Yeah, and they try to like piece everything together. And that's when I forget his name. That one
Izuru.
Izuru comes up and he kind of is like baiting him to get out of there.
I felt really bad for Izuru. He was also somebody who was just super manipulated.
Yeah.
And even Aizen said, like, it was my plan from the very beginning. When I saw Momo, when I saw Izuru, and when I saw you, Renji.
Yeah.
I was like, these fools are going to be super easy to manipulate.
That was crazy.
And he was like, but you started acting up a little bit. So I sent you to another division or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for him, especially because like he bought into a lot of Aizen's bullshit. And even if he knew Aizen was a bad guy, maybe he thought on some level he was going to be true to his word. So there was that moment of him crying outside after everything. And he said he wasn't going to hurt Momo. Like he promised if I did this, he wasn't going to hurt Momo.
And for what reason? Like, why would he even like reveal himself? Like, what was the point?
Well, I mean, he kind of like had to. To
Momo and then kill her? Like, why?
Not necessarily to Momo, but I mean, he had to go to the execution platform.
No, I know that, but I mean, I don't. It was just like,
well, he said,
why?
He said what I think a lot of villains would say, which I see the logic in his villain mind, because let's say he would have not done that to Momo, he would have just gone on to made his way to the execution platform, and then Momo would have seen everything and found out. It would have broke her little heart. Would have broke her little Momo heart. So he even said, like, I was just putting her out of her misery. Like, I wanted her last memory of me to be like, I wanted her to still believe like I was a good guy, I was a nice guy, that I was alive, that I cared about her. And then he killed her. Because he's like, yeah, I wanted to do it the most humanely I possibly could in his villain mind.
God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big reveal when, Izuru is baiting them and saying like, Momo would have followed you and Momo's probably on her way or she's probably here. Hitsugaya turns back. That's when Aizen stabs Momo. Hitsugaya goes crazy and, tries to take Aizen out, releases his Bankai. Awesome. But Aizen is on a crazy level.
Yeah, he's on something else. Everyone else is like, what is up?
I mean, even with Hitsugaya's, it builds up. Hitsugaya easily gets taken out. No problem at all. Renji later, Zabimaru gets stopped with just a palm. And then even later, Ichigo's Bankai gets stopped with like a finger. Yeah. This guy's on another level. Unstoppable.
He's on God level.
He's on God level. On God.
For real. On God.
So this is when like Unohana comes in, Mother Teresa, Mona Lisa, whatever you will. She discovers, Aizen and learns about his Zanpakuto's perfect hypnosis, which this was a really cool reveal too.
Yeah.
Izuru's Zanpakuto was also awesome, by the way. When he was fighting Matsumoto, his Zanpakuto is basically just every time you hit it, it makes your sword heavier. That was really cool too.
Yeah, I liked that. I mean, the fight's like
it's no perfect hypnosis.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I did enjoy that fight too. I really like her as a character.
Yeah, everybody does.
Her character.
Yeah, everybody loves her characters. What? The characters that make up her name. They're beautiful. Beautiful name.
That was a great save. That was a great save. You're killing it.
I mean, I'm just quick on my feet today. Had an extra cup of coffee.
Oh, you did?
No.
But
perfect hypnosis is how Aizen has been, pulling all these strings, the puppet master, if you will.
Yeah, he goes, oh, what does he say? He goes, you just made a fake body to like bait us. He's like, what fake body? Yeah. I was like, wow, what?
Yeah, where'd you get that?
Yeah, I've been holding it this whole time. I'm like, is that heavy shit?
Yeah. I allowed you to see it. What a cool line. There's a lot of cool lines in this.
Yeah, he's wild. What's his like final line? What does he say? Like, I will stand at the top. And he like got even hotter than he was before. Like, how did that even happen?
For sure.
I mean, I'm not like an Aizen stan. Like, don't get me wrong at all. Like, I'm not an Aizen stan.
And this ain't even his final hotness form.
Really?
Let's just say that. Yeah, this man just gets, the more evil he gets, the more attractive he gets.
Yeah. He like ditched the glasses.
Yeah, which I don't know what that's,
they're props. They're props. Yeah, he didn't need him. Yeah. Ever.
Disguise.
Yeah, like he wanted to become, he wanted to see more like nice. I don't know. He didn't want to show his full hotness because then maybe people will be like, oh, he's evil. You know?
No one can evil be that hot.
Exactly. Nice. Hot people are like pretty much
I mean, he
For the
just
most part, evil.
Clark Kented everybody.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. But
then Superman showed up.
yeah, dude.
And he even had a little dangly thing.
Yeah, that was wild. But he's doing his own thing. But that was pretty sick. A lot of good lines in this.
And he's been able to hypnotize people, not just because it's not some sort of spell or anything. It's his literally Zanpakuto's power, and it's perfect hypnosis because nobody can tell the difference between this. If they've seen it, if they've come in contact with it, and there was that cool line where one of the assistant captains or whatever was like, how is your Zanpakuto capable of this? You told us everything about your Zanpakuto. You even brought us all in this room and showed us all how it worked. And then not Matsumoto, but Unohana was like, that's when you did it. That's when you like hypnotized all of us. And he's like, ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. A winner.
But again, the way Kubo writes is so like actiony, badass, cool. He says like, he's describing perfect hypnosis and everything like that. And he's like, yes, but in order, to be hypnotized, it requires that the person come in contact or have to see the Zanpakuto when it's released, which means that, it would never work on a blind person. And then it's just Tosin.
Tosin.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that was a big reveal for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
That's what I was saying, about the last time, the last episode we did. I was like, what is it? He's talking about justice. He's doing this for this girl or whatever. And I was like, but, knowing that he was going to be on the, opposing the villain squad, I was like, what is even like?
He's lost. He's lost. He just got out of a breakup, pretty bad one-sided love, and he's lost. I mean, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what side to fall on, and he's just trying to find validation.
Yeah, and I do think that he says, like you said, it's the path with less blood shed or whatever, but you can lie to yourself all the time, dude.
Yeah, for real.
As much as you want. But we all know, dude.
I mean, he went from being a simp from one person to another.
He's simping for Aizen now.
Yeah, of course.
Simping for, justice.
Yeah, simping for justice.
What a weirdo.
What a freakazoid. What are you, like, Batman?
Yeah, what are you, Batman?
Yeah, Batman sims for justice hard.
He sims for justice and the Joker for sure.
Oh yeah, it's so insane.
For sure.
Like you don't kill, but you can like defeat so many people, not bat an eye. But like the minute Joker, he's like, I'll let you pass. Like I'll let
Batman's
you go.
a freak too, dude.
He is a freak. He truly is. He's baddie.
Baddie, like Batty. Like baddie.
Yeah, not like a baddie.
Yeah,
no, he's like baddie, like crazy. That's like another word for crazy, like baddie. Like you get it?
I got it.
It's like Batman. It's like baddie. Like he was like raised by like bats, huh?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he was like raised by bats, huh?
Keep going, please. But this is a cool moment too because then Aizen leaves and like a cool the raps kind of transport them to the execution platform, and they transport Renji and Rukia too. And this is when Asane alerts everybody through one of these fucking awesome spells.
Yeah, that was sick.
Just
attention, everyone.
So sick.
Everyone's like.
Yeah, I mean, even like the way that the spells work in Bleach is like always like I've always loved, and it's what I actually like a lot about Burn the Witch too, and I want more of that, and I hope we get more of that. Aizen then stops Ichigo and Renji pretty easily, and that's when he starts to exposit and sort of tell everybody about his plan. And he throws out the classic villain line, well, since this is the end, I guess it doesn't matter if I just tell you everything.
He went like Syndrome from Incredibles.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The monologuing. Yeah. He started monologuing. But I mean, it was like, it wasn't just monologuing about his plan. He like revealed, obviously, Urahara, right?
Yeah.
Urahara's like bigger, conspiracy about the Gigai and all that stuff and his research. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, this was really cool because we find out that not only was Urahara experimenting with all these things, because there are different types of combat or practices that Soul Reapers can achieve, but they always hit a wall at a certain point. And in order for them to not hit that wall, there are ways, because they're hindered by their own limits as a soul or as a person.
Yeah, it's like a Gigai, or is it a Gigai with no Reishi?
Well, no,
Is that what happened before?
What do you mean?
He made like a Gigai with no reishi.
That was Rukia's Gigai.
Yes, so then he was like banned.
Well, he was
Soul
banned
Society.
for that, and he was banned for all of his other stuff that he was doing too.
Yeah.
Which was that he's like, okay, well, in order to like push past these boundaries, all we have to do is like experiment with like holification.
Mm-hmm.
Aizen was experimenting with holification too, but Aizen was experimenting with it in reverse. Like he was trying to figure out how to like merge or to make hollow soul reapers, or he was just doing it in the reverse order.
Yes.
Or in the reverse way, which is why Kukaku's brother died, because Kukaku's brother and Rukia and Ukitake, they came across like one of Aizen's experiments, basically. But he had discovered that Urahara had mastered it, but was afraid of what he had created because of how powerful it was. The only thing I don't fully remember or understand, and I went back to see if it was like actually explained. I understand everything and how it works, and I understand Urahara's logic in giving Rukia the Gigai and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
What I do think maybe will be revealed later, or was sort of revealed and I forgot or just missed, but why specifically, what was his relationship with Rukia? Why did he choose Rukia? Was Rukia just some girl in the slums that he just like figured, okay, well, these kids in the slums, I'm just gonna like, or was she already in the academy when he chose to like hide it in her?
Well, they show that, don't they, when she gets to Earth or whatever, like from Soul Society. I guess her Gigai was like not good, and he goes like, "Oh, do you need to borrow a Gigai?" Like I think that was the moment that he did
that's
that,
the
right?
moment. I could be wrong.
That he hit it inside of her.
But I'm pretty sure that he hit it inside of her before she left. I could be wrong. Let us know in the comments. But I could be. I'm ready to be wrong about that. I think that would make sense, and maybe the more I think about it, maybe you're right. But
because she was going to him because of the Gigai problems that she was having in the very beginning.
But this thing that he created wasn't in the Gigai. It was in her Konpaku, I think is what it's called. It was in her like soul. It wasn't in the Gigai because that's how Aizen pulled it out of her.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so obviously this lets us in on to why Ichigo, one of the reasons why Ichigo is as strong as he is, because of this like holification. He's able to push past his limits. One of the reasons that he is so strong. But also it explains like how Rukia was in the world of the living and she was getting weaker and weaker and weaker because he wanted to suppress her reishi so that no one would be able to track her, and so that it would like she would blend in with all the other human souls. The side effect of that being that she would eventually become a human soul, which lets us in on to why she was just getting weaker and weaker and weaker and wasn't able to do anything. So all a very satisfying explanation.
Yeah, for sure.
And, we had known that Urahara and Yoruchi like have worked together and all these things. So to see that they also fled together. And all really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool. That's when Aizen removes. So the thing is called the Hogyoku from Rukia. This was kind of like, I understand like why it needed to happen. But, again, a little teeny tiny nitpick. But, he was like, and there are only two ways to extract the, Hogyoku from someone's like Konpaku, or I forget exactly what it's called. And it's like the first is to, basically kill them. And the second is to just take it out of them. And I was just like, all right, okay.
It's like literally your whole plan is to kill Rukia. Like that's what you guys have been talking about for the past like 3 pages. Yeah. And you're like, okay, I could either do that or I could just rip it out. And everyone's like, okay.
The logic is that like, when he set everything up and he killed the 46 and he did it long ago, and he was even the reason that Renji and Byakuya went after Rukia. Like he had done it like so long ago. The logic is like when he then faked his death, he went down there to hide. And as he was hiding down there, Urahara's like banned research was down there. So he was able to study Urahara's research and then I think learn the second way to get it out. But still, I mean, it was, so there is logic behind it, but it still was just funny in the moment. Yeah. And I thought, like, okay, like, is Rukia gonna have a hole in her now? Because
is she gonna have a hole? Is she gonna become like human now?
Or is that hole gonna, stay open? And is she gonna start turning into a hollow? Is she gonna go through some holification or something?
Oh.
No.
No.
The hole closes.
The hole is closing up as it got torn out.
As we speak.
Yeah.
It's still closing.
Yeah.
But still a very cool moment. Still a cool moment. This is when he now has no purpose for Rukia anymore. He's about to kill her, and Byakuya jumps in and sacrifices himself.
Woo!
Very rewarding moment.
Yeah.
Very rewarding moment for Byakuya. Redeeming moment for him. And
waiting.
And that's when all the other captains ambush Aizen,
That was
Tosin,
sick.
Gin.
That was sick. Yeah, they all come up on him. It was like freaking Avengers. They're like, your time is over. Like, you're done. And he's like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
And he took off his glasses, did the whole
sexy.
thing. Got sexy.
Had a
Menos
glow
Grande.
Yeah. He literally had a glow up. And that might be where the term comes from.
Because he
a glowing light came from the sky and took him up.
And it took him up. Damn.
Aizen is the invention, is the origin of glow up.
Yeah.
He's the definition of glow up.
Yeah. Or I think also too, he's the definition of like, ay.
Zen. Yeah. He's the opposite of Zen. He's pretty pissed.
Yeah, he's got a lot of issues that he needs to work out. Hopefully he can do it when he's up there. Maybe he'll give him time to think and process everything that happened.
Right.
I mean, he kind of got what he wanted, so we'll see how that goes for him with his little squad.
Let's save some time at the end though, because I think it's going to be interesting to see what if you do have any sort of theory as to what he's going to try to achieve now that he has this thing. What do you think he's going to do?
The thing that I could maybe think of is just creating a hollows that will fight on his side. That's all I can think of. I mean, a hollow army. I don't know. I really don't know what this guy's motivation, what his deal is.
Well, think about what happened to Ichigo, and think about think about how he was a Soul Reaper, and then the holification process. Think about what Aizen could do or would do with that thing. What he was already trying to do, but maybe perfected a little bit more, right? So logically, you'd think that maybe then he would be trying to turn
himself.
He would try to make a more perfected version of a Hollow Soul Reaper hybrid by turning Hollows into Soul Reapers. What reason? For
the benefit of Soul Society?
Well, he is trying to be God, right? He is just trying to be the most powerful person ever to exist. So for that reason, I'm just saying, one could theorize, one could deduce if we were here to deduce. Or take a deuce, whatever.
Take a deuce.
If you want to take one, if you want to think about things, it's up to you.
I mean, yeah, I after this, I really have no idea what's going to happen. Not in a bad way. I just a lot of things were revealed and a lot of things were kind of left open, I guess. So the kind of relationship with Rukia and Ichigo, she's gonna stay, he's gonna go. What does that mean for the story? What could possibly happen? Are they always going to be fighting Aizen? Will it always be the ultimate fight against Aizen? Or will other things happen along the way? Other people not necessarily involved with his plan? That's what I'm more interested to see, I guess.
Yeah, this is where, in my memory, again, this is where it gets really fun. Soul Society was awesome. But again, even though I didn't remember every single detail, there are things as I read it that just, I am reminded of. And I read and I go, oh, I forgot that happened. But the further out we get, the foggier it gets. So the more I'm just kind of going on feeling. And as I re-experience things, I'm having a lot more fun. And in my memory, in my foggy memory, this is where things in this arc get really fun and get really interesting, and the character designs pop off, and things really pop off.
Well, I really do towards the end we got to see Ichigo's not alone. He had Rukia helping him fight these hollows, but now he's got Orihime, Chad, Uryu, everyone.
Uryu,
kinda. He's kind of on the fritz right now. He's kind of
he's done.
You think he's really done though? I don't think he's done. There's no way. There's no way.
We'll see.
He's going to somehow get his power back. There's going to be a whole thing.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay.
Not that I'm saying I know any spoilers, but I think, I mean, I'm sure.
You're confident.
I'm confident that's what's going to happen. Because that would be crazy just to have this character and just be like, I'm an average Jono. No, there's no way.
He's just their stylist now.
Yeah. He just like makes her clothes. There's no way.
Which was a really cool, cute moment too. But before, we get there, and one thing I wanted to note too is that, obviously the lights come down. They take, Aizen, Tosin, and Gin up. And, Gin has like a weird moment where he like turns to Matsumoto and he's like, I'm sorry. And Tosin is like, I am taking the path with the least amount of bloodshed. And they all have their like little moment. The light comes to take them up. There's apparently it's funny. That was another funny moment to me. There's no way to, like, if you would have told Ichigo, right, that getting into Soul Society was impossible. Most people did. That you'll never be able to be on the same level as a captain. It's impossible. Like, you could never do that. You're a human, you come from the world of the living. You haven't, trained, whatever. But Ichigo still would try. But it's just funny that now, like, and I know he got like the shit kicked out of him, but there's still like so many captains there. And like they immediately like stop trying to reach Gin, Tosin, and Aizen. And then Yamato's like, yeah, we all know that once the light, there's nothing we can do. And so they all just kind of stop. And no one's like, no, we got to at least try. Like, there's got to be something we can do.
They know
they all just kind of like, well,
it's too
there
powerful.
It goes. He did it. Bye. But with all the Menos Grande, there's something bigger, scarier behind all the Menos Grande.
Yeah.
And we were led to believe that the Menos Grande was the biggest and scariest of them all. But there's something else there. Creepy, scary. Who knows? That's
Menos Grande plus.
Yeah, there's a Menos Vente back there. Yeah.
Great,
Thank
dude.
You.
Great.
Thank you so much. This is also when we get Byakuya's backstory about, him being married to Rukia's sister. And we kind of talked about it already, but very emotional. And I do sympathize, even though I don't necessarily agree. And if I was in the same situation, I know what I'd choose in a heartbeat. But I do sympathize or empathize with his struggle to keep this like promise he made to his family about upholding the law and the traditions, or to his wife to like protect his sister. To me, there's one obvious, glaring, like you said, clear answer, but I understand why someone like him would struggle with that. So, then we get Ishida's new clothes. Uryu makes everybody new clothes.
That was so sweet.
Yeah,
I loved that. He's such a great guy.
He really is. He's a jack of all trades.
Honestly.
And he made Chad like a Quincy kind of like tank top or like sleeveless shirt.
Like, you look as good as a Quincy. And he's just like pushing this Quincy propaganda on Chad. He's like, okay.
And I love that even Orihime's like looking at Chad's thing and then looking at Ichigo's thing and then looking at, or what he made her and Ruki. And he's like, I just think you're way better at making like girl clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I just love that. Like, I love Ishida. Like, Uryu's like my favorite. And it's maybe true of what the commenter said in our highlighted comment, that maybe when we were younger, like we just like we're like, yeah, I want to be Ichigo's a badass, but then as you get older, you're like, Uryu's just like the guy, like he's just the guy that you want to be. But that was a cute moment, and I like how Orihime and Ichigo, and Orihime's like, Ruki is missing. I like how their like search for her is an excuse to kind of go throughout Soul Society, and you kind of just get to see peripherally everybody and what they're up to. And a lot of sweet moments like Matsumoto and Izuru's moment where he kind of comes in and she's like, don't even say anything. Like, let's just drink. And then he gets so fucked up. And like, Kitsugai is like, he's foaming at the mouth. Like, what?
No,
like, how
he's like,
fucked up
I'm
did you
going to
get?
drink until I throw up. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he got crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And we all know a couple Izurus, or maybe have been an Izuru in our life.
Yeah. I remember vividly 21. Being a 21-year-old Izuru.
Yeah. I was so fucked up. I don't remember being a 21-year-old Izuru. It's like I don't even remember the year I was 21. I don't remember being 21. I skipped a year.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's when you were reading Bleach, huh?
Yeah, probably. But I also like how Renji and Byakuya are having this emotional moment, and you just feel it, like it's gonna happen. And then Ichigo's like, Renji! Like, he just like screams at him. And he's like, we were about to have this like touching moment. That was a really funny moment too. And Ichigo ultimately I just like it was a cool way to go through Soul Society and see kind of what everybody's at.
Yeah, not all these like high stakes, like
Yeah.
not this pressure. Like
Exactly.
everyone's kind of just able to chill now.
And it wasn't like this like real hunt for like Rukia, like, oh my god, where is she? Oh my god, like what did she is she in danger?
She got stolen again by Aizen.
Yeah.
She's done. She's gone.
It was like a fun moment, and Ichigo I think knew ultimately once he checked like the first couple places, he's like, okay, well, there's only one other place she could realistically be, and it is back at Ganju and Kaku's house, and that's where the apology happens, which was a sweet moment. Again, from Kaku saying like, I've already decided to forgive you. I just wanted you to kind of come to terms with it.
She got like a little fucked up by Kaku. Kaku kept hitting the shit out of her. I was like, damn. I mean, it was funny.
But isn't that true of so many people where you're just like, there are people who are just like, I'm sorry. You're just like, it's fine.
Just let it go. They're like, I know, but I apologize.
I'm sorry. And it's something that they shouldn't even be sorry for. And it's like, dude, stop.
I mean, Rukia did kill their brother. That is a bit heavier.
But if you know the context, then it's not something she needs to be sorry for at all. Like there was nothing else she could have done.
Yeah.
But it is like a kind gesture to say it once,
but not 7 times.
Yeah. So I would have been right there with Kaku. I would have punched Rukia in the face. But and that's where Ichigo catches up, or he may catch up, and Rukia basically decides she tells Ichigo like, I'm staying, I'm not going. And I love Ichigo's like, he's like, cool. He's like, I if that's what you want, then I'm happy. Because again, she has a say in choosing what she wants to do. And there's just this really sweet smile, and he has a line, something along the lines of like, in this moment, he's like, I'm reminded of like why I wanted to so bad to save you, because she's kind of at peace and she's smiling. His smile isn't like a ear to ear smile. It's like a very peaceful, like he accomplished, like proud, like happy smile. And
I mean, yeah, shit, he did a lot.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
But you said you were a little upset about her. Not upset, but you were just like a little like maybe disappointed as a fan of Rukia. You were just like, man, I want her to go back.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally, yeah. Or, yeah, I mean, I would have maybe, I don't know. I mean, it would have been great to have a couple more chapters of like Ichigo still in Soul Society and talking with the captains, and maybe them like talking to him, like Byakuya talking to him more, like, you were able to achieve this, like how, like it would have been cool to see those interactions more than just like, fighting or running away. Like that would have been a nice touch, and I maybe would have appreciated it more. I feel like they were just in and out, which was kind of like the mission, of course. And then Rukia ended up staying, but yeah, that would have been like an awesome touch, and I'm sure it happens like later, but yeah, I kind of wanted that because I like grew to like these characters. Yeah. And to see them interact with like the main character based off of what he'd gone through and what he was trying to do, like they're all on the same team kind of now because of what happened. So that like in small interactions would have been sick to see.
But it's been Rukia. Okay?
Exactly.
So it's like now we're going to get some time to, again, in my memory, we're going to get some time to see like more from Chad, more from Orihime, more from Uryu. And Rukia's always a part of them,
or even like Tatsuki too.
Yeah. I mean, we're
class.
Yeah. Well, she comes back, and because Ichigo gets this, that deputy Soul Reaper combat pass.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool thing. And when they come back, by the way, too, and leading up to like her being able to see it, which is apparently like no one's able to see it. When they get spit out back into the world of the living, like Urahara's on this like magic carpet, like flying through. Well, they like, roll him up in this like fabric. It's this whole thing. And there's a moment between him and he's like, yeah, so you're back and you did it. And he's like, I'm sure you heard everything.
Yeah, like literally what? He's like, yeah, I'm sure word got around, and yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, I'm not even mad. He's like, did you not tell me because you thought I'd like back out or whatever?
It's like, exactly.
And then he gets mad. But
I
would think, and maybe Ichigo's just not that type of person. He doesn't really care that much. But I think at least like maybe Ishida or Chad or Orihime or somebody Would have been like,
I
yeah,
put my life on the line. You could have gave us this information.
Or like, can you explain? Like, was Aizen telling the truth? Like, is all that stuff real and true? And like, can I hear your side of the story if you don't mind?
Yeah, I don't like Aizen. Like, he was just monologuing. Like, who knows what he was? He was a liar to begin with.
Exactly.
You know. So I want to hear the truth and the facts. But they kind of just blew it off, which I don't blame them. I mean, they're like, okay, I'm done with all this Soul Society bullshit for a little bit. Let me just like be back. Let me just go back to being a little normal.
But of all the reunions, the one that I was most excited and warmed my heart the most to see was our boy Cone is back in action, chilling in Ichigo's body, holding the fort down.
Not scary, just sussy dreams.
I mean, he's just doing what he's doing. You know, he's just having dreams of like Orihime and Rukia, like, you know, and ice cream. And, you know, all three of those things sound pretty good. Sound pretty good. I
want ice cream now.
Me too.
Yeah, that sounds bomb.
But yeah, I mean, I missed him. I missed him so much.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like again, like it was so serious for the past like couple. Yeah. I mean, not couple, a lot of chapters, and a lot of volume. So it's gonna be nice to maybe get some of that back. I was like, people were joking like the beginning of Bleach is so slice of life, and then it turns into like Soul Society and everything. And I was like, I kind of miss that though.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Like that's why I was kind of bummed. I was like, after all this, like Rukia is gonna stay. Like I want her just back because I want those interactions again. You know, but you take what you can get.
Well, it's definitely gonna be a change of pace. And I think you're going to enjoy that. I think you're going to really enjoy it. And we get to see some of that comedy come back when we see Kon again. And Kon's a little fucked up now, which was like very funny. And Each goes like, I can't do anything.
He just goes, whoa. And he's like, whoa's all you have to say. Like, I drew it right here.
Yeah, he's like, I can take you to like Uryu to fix you up. But like, not much else I could do, dude. You look pretty fucked up. And everybody goes back to school. It's kind of cool to see everybody like, damn, dude, we were just in another world, like fighting freaking like, you know, Soul Reapers, and now we're just taking math, you know, or whatever. And that's when, Orihime and Ichigo's friend notices the Deputy Soul Reaper Combat Pass, which has the same abilities that the glove that Rukia wore had. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Like, we had already known that. Like, we had already known that she was capable of seeing these things, like with the Don Kanji thing, and with even when Orihime's powers were awakened, like she could see, or she was on like the Chad level before Chad like broke through and could see more.
It is. We already knew that, but it is cool to see, you know, a character that didn't necessarily know that, because I don't think Orihime like mentioned that to Ichigo. So yeah, it is cool to be like, Ichigo's like, what do you mean? And he's like, another teammate, you know? It's like cool.
And then he's sitting in class, the teacher's trying to, you know how they do it in series, stories, shows, whatever, manga.
How they do it.
The teacher comes in and is like, all right, class, we got a new student coming in today. And, there's a ruckus and something happens, and Ichigo's Deputy Reaper Combat Pass just starts like screaming like, hollow, hollow, hollow. And he's like looking around, no one can hear it except for, the gang. And this is actually kind of heartbreaking, and kind of like, out of all the emotional moments, like a really real, like adult, mature, like, I don't know, like kind of sad moment where they all go except Ishida. After they easily defeat a hollow who is like nothing compared to the captains they've been fighting so far, they all kind of comment on that. And it's Orihime, who did spend the most time with him in Soul Society, said like, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's doing really well. And Ichigo's like, yeah, well, he didn't say anything. And Chad's like, yeah, I haven't really noticed anything either. And it's like, yeah, well, I don't think he wants you guys to know. Like, I think he just like is dealing with something on his own, and it's really hard for him. And I think he's maybe a little embarrassed, or doesn't want to share that. And I'm really worried about him, and I think we should be aware of this, and I think we should just help our friend, which is like a really real moment. Is like, again, people are hurting all the time and don't like to talk about it or don't like to share it. But I love that Orihime, being the kind soul she was, and because an empath, and she spent so much time with him, was like, yeah, he's not okay, And like he's acting like he's okay, and
Yeah.
he's making clothes, and he's doing this, and he's back to his old, thing. I hate Soul Reapers, but he's like, he's in a lot of pain, and I was just like, oh my god, like someone silently suffering, it really hurts me. It hurts, but
too relatable.
Yeah, too relatable. But that's when we notice that there's somebody else there. The teacher, of course, and that's what I meant in this like very like funny 90s movie fashion. She's like, where did the new student go?
Yeah.
And then this is so cool though. This character, I remember being obsessed with, like
Really?
Like everybody is obsessed with like Grimjaw and like characters who you've seen and stuff. And don't get me wrong, all very cool characters, but for whatever reason, at the time this came out, this character looked so different than any other character I had seen in Bleach. In a Kubo style too, that I was icing on the cake for me. That I was just like, I'm obsessed with this character. Like I had him on like I don't even know if I had a phone at the time, but if I did, it was a shitty phone, and I would like have him as like a wallpaper, at least on like the computer. Like I was obsessed with this character's just design, if anything. But what I love about his introduction here too is that he's obviously a mysterious figure. And he's got something going on because he's literally like walking on the sky.
Yeah.
And he puts like a drink down like on the sky, and the drink ain't spilling. And he's just there, and he's just like, Kurosaki Ichigo.
And that's where it ends.
Where it ends. Any idea who this person is or anything like that? Once you see more of him again, like I love this guy.
I really have. I mean, yeah, I don't. We've only been introduced to like a couple types of different people, so I wouldn't surprise me if he was like kind of like the Quincy's, but in like a different fashion, like a different type. I don't know.
I think you're going to be a little pleasantly surprised, but more so, I think you're going to really enjoy a lot of these characters and their designs and their just like kind of who they are, and like I remember having so much fun with these guys.
Okay.
And there's one character, who is, she's like, I mean, she looks like it was like just straight out of like Burn the Witch or something, which I guess technically she kind of is. But she's like not as like cute. She's a little like punk, but again, the character design, I'm trying not to give too much away. The character design, the reason they're there, I really like it. I remember having a lot of fun. I'm excited to experience it. I'm excited for you to experience it.
Yeah.
But Soul Society as a whole, what did you think? How does it feel to be at the end of the Soul Society journey, an arc that a lot of people hold in high regard when they talk about Bleach?
Yeah, I feel like I have a deputy badge of my own now,
yep.
and I can finally say that I finished it. I did Soul Society.
Check.
I checked off the list. I had a good time. I remember definitely, I mean, like for me, like we have said before in the past, I really do genuinely enjoy fights more when there's a lot of emotional meaning to them, and they're learning along the way as to like the real meaning why they're fighting, not necessarily just fighting. And there were moments in this for sure that did have that shine, that were highlights for me. A lot of them kind of unfortunately excluding Ichigo. And I don't know if that's just like the main protagonist like syndrome where you kind of like the other characters or like other moments more. But for like a first time reader, that's just like kind of my experience. And I am excited to see, because it was a good amount of the story. I mean, it was, I don't even know how many volumes. It was a good amount that we've read.
I think around 21, I think.
Yeah. So I am excited to get that new, like not new, but like that, that same Bleach, like Ichigo, all of his friends, like fighting, and hopefully we're seeing Rukia again. And I do genuinely like want to see more of that like fun Soul Society and those captains being badass, but also just like not stressed about who killed who or who done it. But I did, overall enjoy it. I like, again, like the reveals. I think it was like really, really well done. And the build up was like insane because like you said, it was they usually introduce who the bad guy is, and you get to see his process along the way. But this was like you had to guess or make assumptions as to who's doing this, why, and even the reason that you thought wasn't necessarily the reason at all, or what you were told wasn't the reason at all, which led it to be even more like impactful, especially with like the opening of this new holification and how Ichigo is able to use Bankai, and like how much stronger is he gonna get, and all the mysteries are really, and all of his friends, like Orihime, Chad, like how much stronger they are now, having to dealt with all that stuff. And hopefully Uryu is like, Ishida will come back and be able to use some type of power or learn something. I'm sure he will, but we'll see.
Yeah, for me, I mean, going back and reading this a second time years later, it does give the other characters a lot more of a. For me, I'm seeing them shine a lot more. They're coming through a lot more. Like Uryu came through so much more, and I just gained so much more respect for him and liked him so much more. Even like characters like Orihime, and I've always kind of liked Ichigo and Chad, but it is interesting that like upon second read, even some of the captains and these, like you said, more emotional moments, how they really are. They really do mean more to me and hit a little differently, obviously, after growing up 10 years later. But yeah, I mean, for me, I do, when I re-experience this arc, I still think it's a fantastic arc, and everything that you said about it, the reveals and everything, I still absolutely love. But upon reread, if there was one nitpick, it is just what we said, is that I do feel like, if anything, it does suffer from just a lot of like, just like, it's very like term heavy, like all these like terms are being thrown at you. I do in my memory, and I can't wait to continue, because in my memory, Bleach becomes so much more fun after this, because I do think all these concepts you are a lot more comfortable with, and you do have a better grasp and a better understanding of all this jargon, and it doesn't feel like it's just constantly being like shoved down your throat. You're already, like I said, you've had time to digest it and to understand it. And so the more it kind of progresses and kind of changes, it is, in my memory, it gets just so much more fun. And the characters just get so much more. I mean, it doesn't stop being badass. It doesn't stop being all those things. But there is a lot more emotion going forward in my memory, which I really, really like. Again, as a younger kid, I probably connected and definitely connected, I think, more with the action. Yeah. And this time around, I'm connecting way more with the emotion, which is why the Yoruichi Soifan fight and things like that, and the Uryu fight, like, connected with me so much, is because of that emotion. Yeah. And so I'm really excited to go forward and continue. And I had so much fun re-experiencing this, but I am just even more excited to go beyond, because like Alexander Arts, I think someone was the one who said it in our community, that he kind of stopped after Soul Society, so he's curious where it goes. But for me, I kind of just like I like I said, outside of those like big plot reveals, the details I don't remember. So I'm so excited to continue on. But that's gonna do it. Soul Society done.
Yay!
Yes.
Done Kai.
Woo! Thank you guys.
That was a Zompoked episode.
Thank you guys for being here, especially if you're here all the way at the very, very end. We appreciate it. Let us know if if you enjoy these, watch them all the way to the end, put them on in the background, like them, share them, all that stuff. Because again, these are long form videos, deeper dives, not usually what we do. We are doing, of course, our read through of One Piece, and then our traditional volume ones, but we want to start doing more of these and deeper dives into other series too. So again, the way you can show your support and let us know that you want us to keep making these things and keep doing these things is just by liking, commenting, and sharing. And like I said, like if you can, if possible, watching them all the way through, so that YouTube and the algorithm promotes it and pushes it and knows that people are interested in this. And yeah, let us know, too, like, your experience, if you've been rereading it with us, for the first time, or for like upon reread, like your thoughts on Soul Society as a whole. I know it's a behemoth of an arc in the like anime and manga community. It's a juggernaut. It's it's got its place on Ichigo's head's on a manga Mount Rushmore, you know? And so like, did this live up to your expectations? If you read it for the first time, like if you
agree with us, disagree with us.
Yeah, agree about the term thing or disagree. Any and all thoughts, like let us know. We love reading your comments and that's why we like sharing them on our episodes as highlighted comments and expanding on them a little bit more too. We read, even though we might not respond to every single one, we do read almost every single one.
Yeah, literally.
And yeah, it's always really cool to see. But that's going to do it for this episode. Before we go, though, we have to shout out and we have to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing Patreon members. Thank every single
Thank you so
one
much.
of you from the bottom of our hearts.
We love you guys so much.
We love you. We love you.
More than you know.
Yes. More than you Zompok to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Zompoked of love for you.
Yeah, I'm Zompoked full of love for you.
I'm Zompoked full of it.
Yeah. I mean, again, how can I express just my gratitude and my appreciation for everything that you guys do and your support? It genuinely means the world to both of us. Our lives are changing and have changed because of you and our community. And it is because of you that this show is what it is. New mics, hopefully crisper, better audio quality. Even our Shinigami robes that we are donning today are because of you. And we can do things like this, which again, everything just goes back into the show and affects the quality of the show and in hopes makes a better show, because even wearing these things is exciting and brings out a different energy and, the quality, like I said, of the sound and everything. I mean, you, our Patreon members, are the reason that you are listening and hearing the show at the level that it's at, that you are. It is because of your support. And we would not be here and we would not be doing this to the level that we're doing it without you. Your kindness, your generosity is very, very, very appreciated. And we cannot thank you enough. But if you are not a Patreon member or YouTube member, we still appreciate the fuck out of you, and we still love you so much. And we don't want anybody to feel bad if they're in a position right now where they cannot donate or help financially. Not everybody can, and that's completely understandable, because there are so many other things that you can do to help support us and our show and show your appreciation and show your love that mean and matter just as much. And Mehgan will tell you more about those things now.
Yes, you guys can become part of the algorithm gang. You become gang affiliated with Volume 1, and all you have to do is comment on any one of our videos. You can comment a comment, you can comment a period, a comma, an emoji, anything at all, algorithm gang, and it acts as a free tip to our channel. It spreads our videos far and wide and helps open up that pesky algorithm compacto.
Sure, yeah, keep going.
And it helps the spirit energy flow.
Oh, there we go.
Throughout the world.
I knew you would find it.
And that's all you have to do, and it's free 99 totally, and it is the same thing as giving us any type of Patreon YouTube member. It is the same in all. I mean, if you don't have the money, you don't have to worry about it. Subscribe, share this video, like, and comment. And again, we read all of your comments and we really appreciate all of your thoughts. And you can join also our Discord, our socials. That's all linked below too, so that would be awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much for all of your support. No matter how you show it, it means the world to us. But that is going to do it for another episode of Dun Kai and the final installment of our Soul Society arc coverage.
Yeah.
The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro. That's always the same. It never changes, which today is could be something with Eisen. That was
Eisen.
All eyes on Eisen. Eisen.
I sees that
This
coming. Ay. Yeah, I like that.
Eisen.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like, I think you said it earlier, but yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm taking credit. I don't want you to call me Ursula again. Wouldn't want that.
And then for me to make a short
Yeah,
out
and
of
then you
it.
make a short highlighting that.
And then I make you literally Ursula.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
Eisen! You got some explaining to do.
You do. You got some.
I mean, you pretty much did explain your whole plan to everyone, and they pretty much know what exactly you're doing.
You did some
for a while.
explaining.
Yeah, you did a lot of explaining.